Unfortunate on and off the field incidents. We have, number one, the Baco scandal with baseball and track and field, and boxing with Shane Mosley. So, yeah, what can you say? And it keeps coming back on and on and on and on.
It's absolutely destroyed the era. There's no. It makes it very difficult to judge people. And when we later on get to the best seasons of an individual athlete, one of the problems I had was Barry Bonds. Where do you put him? Do you mention him? Because, I mean, what can you really say? You know, McGwire. None of these people, except for Bonds, will probably make the Hall of Fame. Clemens will too. But it's destroyed an era, and baseball is not really. I don't believe it's fully recovered. I don't think baseball is anywhere near as popular as it was 5-10 years ago. It started with the strike in '95, and then came back with Ripken and McGwire and Sosa, and then this destroyed it. And I don't think it has recovered. I don't think it's going. I really don't see it recovering in the near future.
But the great thing, attendance has gone up and everything, and also we had an exciting postseason, of course, as well. So, definitely, but it will not get back to the popularity it was in the late '90s. That's for sure. Dale Earnhardt, death on the final lap of the 2001 Daytona 500. He died doing the thing that he loved and he was passionate about.
What more could you ask for? I mean that sounds kind of cold, but I would love, when I die, I'd prefer to be doing something that I love. And he went out the way he came in, going full out. And it's obviously, I'm not a NASCAR guy, but for anyone who follows car racing, auto racing, it was the biggest tragedy it's the biggest tragedy in the history of the sport. So, obviously his son has followed his footsteps, not as successfully, but there are certain things there's not much you can really say about.
No, that's for sure. And then Tiger Woods. Now, because it's not just with the philandering that's going on, but also too the controversy about a doctor of his that have supposedly been distributing PEDs. So. Of course, that has to be now brought up as well. It's like kick a man while he's down.
Oh, he certainly is down. I'm not sure how. I'm not a golfer, so I don't really know how a PED affects as a golfing, as opposed to a basketball or tennis where there's a constant movement. I don't know exactly how a PED affects golf.
Maybe distance and
maybe I don't know. But my running joke has been at the end of the year, is he going to have more Grand Slams or mistresses? It's horrible, but it's actually a legitimate question. Right. And it's obvious. This is just someone who obviously shouldn't have been married.
And that's the only thing. Like if you have Derek Jeter, he ain't married.
No, he seems quite happy. If not that I'm justifying having one or two, but at least in the back of my mind, I can somewhat understand. Who has 14 mistresses except for like Louis XVI?
Yeah, right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
We'll get on to him when we go to Athletes of the Decade. I'm pretty sure he's high on both of our lists.
Oh, that's for sure. Gambling scandal as well, and you have basically not just NBA but soccer.
I generalized
tennis. With Davydenko involved.
Exactly. The Italian soccer was actually the biggest one because you had Juventus, which was a top 2 or 3 team, which got knocked down the league, got relegated to a lower league because of this. There was match fixing, which in the Italian league, which is kind of actually hurt Serie A. It still has not come back to the level it was at. You have Tim Donaghy in the NBA, where nobody. If you've read the excerpts from his book, and I know I have to send them to you, nobody knows what to make out of this, because if this is true, the NBA is for all intents and purposes finished, because this is unfathomably bad. This is beyond anything that I would have ever thought of. The other one, which boxing, there's always controversy.
Oh, always, yeah.
Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, the recent one, Paulie Malignaggi, Juan Diaz, all of that.
Yeah, with all the scoring,
The other one, which I actually thought about, was the 2002 Winter Olympics, the ice skating. The Canadian couple, Jamie Salé, I think was her name, and they had tied the Russians, and it turned out that the Korean judge had been paid to give the Russians.
Wow, I forgot about that. Yes,
it's going to be it's prevalent in every sport.